What's going on, everyone? Filthy Card Breaks here. Today I have a small PSA return and then also just some recent pickups that I've bought over the last month or two. So I thought I'd combine those since the PSA return is only 4 cards. I do already know the grades. I'm very happy with how this return shook out, so I'll go ahead and jump in and share that with you guys. If you remember my video where I sent these cards out, I was sending out a few cards that were from my grandfather's collection that I was planning on keeping, and 2 of them were in here, and I'm super thrilled with this grade. This card is over 20 years old at this point, and it's a Tom Brady rookie card from Upper Deck. It got a mint 9. I think I mentioned in that video, Grandpa actually had 2 of this exact card. One I had previously sent when I was going through his collection to sell some of the cards for my parents, and that card also got a 9. So he had 2 of these 2000 Upper Decks. I kept this one because I thought it was in a little worse shape, but it was still good enough to get a 9. So yeah, I was thrilled with this grade. This is going to go up in my showcase in my office, and it's a gorgeous card of arguably the best or the greatest football player of all time. The other Brady, the score, got an 8 near mint. I'm also going to hang on to this one. Another really nice Tom Brady rookie card. Looks pretty sharp. I thought they were both going to get 8s. So this card got about what I was expecting, and then the Upper Deck did a little bit better. But really thrilled with how those turned out. And then the other 2 that I submitted at the value level were baseball cards, which is what I typically would deal with. One was a Michael Harris base auto, and it got the 10 Rookie of the Year, looking good there. I bought this card on eBay, or excuse me, on Twitter actually. I bought it from a Twitter seller. I got it in hand. I was like, it looks pretty clean, and submitted it in, and we got the 10. So yeah, I'm very excited. I actually have this card in a 9, and I'm going to hang on to the 10 and sell the 9. That's just my plan. And then the last card in that submission was one I pulled off camera from a 2021 Bowman Draft Asia Edition box. It was this Jordan Lawler Refractor 499. It got a mint 9. I have to be honest with you guys. When I was reviewing these, I sent all these cards in as well as my buddy Sonny. He had some cards, and we kind of looked at them together. The Lawler looked in way better condition than the Michael Harris. I thought they both had shots at 10s, but the Mike didn't have a perfect surface, and the Lawler looked really clean. So it's kind of always throws me for a curveball when I send 2 cards at the same time, so I could compare them against each other. They are from different products, so maybe the graders are looking at different things. But if the Mike got a 10, I thought for sure this would have got a 10 too. Either way, like I said, I'm really happy with this return. These are all going to be cards I keep. The Brady's and the Harris are PC cards. The Lawler I'm going to hang on to at least until he debuts. He's one of the top prospects in baseball now. And at that point, I'll have a decision to make whether I'm going to hang on to it or sell it, but we're probably a few years away from that. Okay, so next up, these are pickups I made at my LCS on Small Business Saturday. I've talked before how the large LCS in my city, I live in Nebraska, he retired. So we have one other LCS, which is a great store, but they just get a really significantly smaller amount of wax. So oftentimes the wax is sold out, or they have very limited supply. So it's a cool store, and they do a great job for the community. They run a quarterly card show, but oftentimes they just don't have the wax that I need to buy. But I stopped in for Small Business Saturday. I wanted to support them, and I actually came in with the intention of only buying a couple packs of top loaders because there's no new releases that I'm really after. But I ended up spending way more than I anticipated. So I picked up this Clayton Kershaw. This is a SGC 8.5 rookie card. I've really been looking for rookie cards of guys that debuted in the 2000s that are locks to be Hall of Fame. So people like Kershaw, Verlander, Scherzer. I haven't picked any up though, but I saw this at my LCS. It was $100, and these typically go for, when I was looking, between $80 and $100, but this LCS doesn't charge tax, and I would pay for shipping. So I was like, you know what, this would be a cool card that I can just add to my collection, a future Hall of Famer. I'm also left-handed, so I always have an attraction to left-handed ball players. So I was like, yeah, let's get this Kershaw. And then I also picked up a couple of vintage Hank Aaron's. I've talked about this just a couple times on the channel, but I'm trying to put together the Topps run of Hank, and eventually I want to get them all subbed in SGC. So whenever he has new Hank Aaron's, I always take a look. And I got these two here. This one is in great shape. It is a 64, kind of rough corners, but everything else is really nice. Good centering. The surface looks great. This could, maybe get like a 3 or 4. And I'll probably send this into SGC. Really cool card. I like this one a lot. And then the other one I picked up, I think this is 57 or 67, excuse me. And I kind of played myself on this one. So with vintage, this LCS always puts on the back, and this is actually written on the penny sleeve. You can kind of see that he writes the top number is what he thinks the Beckett book value is based on the grade, and the bottom is what they're selling it for. Well, let me put it back in the card saver now. But I saw that, and I saw this number 2 on the back, and I thought it was part of his pricing. And unfortunately, that's actually on the card. So I kind of screwed up there, but it's totally my fault. They weren't hiding anything. I was handling the cards, and I just missed that this card's actually written on. So I probably won't submit it, and we'll probably just hang on to it and look for a better copy of this card. But I did get a couple vintage Hanks for the PC. And then here are a few other cards I've picked up recently. A couple singles that I bought. I bought this Julio Rodriguez 3D. I bought this from a buddy on Discord, reached out to me. This will probably be going to PSA whenever I send in my next order. And then I got this Vaughn Grissom First Bowman Purple auto. I didn't have any Grissom autos, and it's looking more and more likely that he's going to be a big part of the team next year. It sounds like we're not going to re-sign Dansby. So I was very happy to add this to my collection. I bought this off Twitter. And then the last thing was off camera. I haven't been able to find any Topps Update retail, and I live in a large city, a couple 100,000 people. We have a bunch of Targets and Walmarts. And I haven't been able to find hardly any Topps Update retail, which is frustrating because I always like to open a bunch of hangers. But I did find a place online called BJ's Wholesale, which is not located in the Midwest, but they took my online order, and I bought 10 hangers. And that's the only retail of Update I've opened. But I did, out of those 10 hangers, get a very nice Julio Rodriguez rainbow foil. So this one will also be going to PSA. I got a couple other cool parallels as well. I posted it on my Twitter maybe a month ago when I opened those, but pretty cool card there. Those are all my pickups that I pulled out to highlight, as well as the PSA return. The only other thing I wanted to mention, which I thought was a neat story that I just wanted to share, probably one of my favorite hobby stories since I've got back into collecting the last few years. In my last video for Allen and Ginter X, I pulled a 1-of-1 mini parallel of Luke Westman. Luke is a tattoo artist. It looks like he's based in California, and I wasn't familiar with him, so I posted on Twitter and said, hey, if anyone is a fan of this guy, I'd really love to get it into your hands. It's such an oddball card. I don't know what it's worth, but I'd love to get it to someone. I didn't even tag Luke, but he actually responded to my Twitter. I'll put everything on the screen, and he said, I'm a fan of that guy. So I reached out to him. We exchanged a few DMs, and he told me that he had bought some hobby boxes, trying to pull his own autograph from the set, which I thought was fun. And we exchanged a few DMs. Long story short, I'm sending the card to him. I told him I would send it, free of charge, and I just wanted to get it in his hands. I thought that was a really neat story, and I appreciate Luke reaching out to me. I don't have any tattoos, but I looked at his portfolio, and he's clearly a super talented tattoo artist. So I just thought that was neat that I was able to get his 1-of-1 into his hands and have that interaction. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. Hit that thumbs up for me and leave a comment down below. Let me know what maybe your favorite card is between the reveal and the pickups. And I look forward to hearing from you. Everyone have a great weekend. Thanks.